Hey guys, this is Captain Food reporting for duty, and today I want to talk about something. I know this has been out in the public a little bit. DC Comics cuts the line to 34 titles in March, and so this is nothing really that new of a reveal, but I want to talk about it a little bit, share a little bit of my thoughts, how we got there, what the future could mean, and what this means for the company, and maybe, in my opinion, and once again, this is my opinion, what they should do. So if you do enjoy this kind of content, please, if you don't mind, help out the channel. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share your thoughts in the comments, even if you disagree with me, okay? But please disagree kindly. So anyway, DC has cut its line down to 34 titles. Yikes! And this comes from Cosmic Book News, I might add, and a lot of other sources. DC Comics is again cutting its line. It's become known that as of March, only 34 titles will be published. Now, that is, in a way, right sizing. What we're looking at right now with DC is what we call a retrenchment process. Now, what a retrenchment is that they're tearing everything apart, leaving what's essential, and rebuilding. You do not go through a retrenchment process like this unless your company is in trouble. And that's a sad sign. And I'm not saying that as a hater of DC Comics or mainstream comics at all. If anybody follows this channel and knows me, you know I've been a long time fan of comic books. I've been reading comic books for, wow, like 40 years now. So it's not that. I'm a big fan of a lot of these characters, and so if anything, I want to see them do well. I want to see them be successful. And to see this is a sign. So some of you are going, well, what do you mean there? They're cutting to 34. What's the big deal? Well, they were publishing a lot more, and when they're cutting titles, what they're doing is they're looking at the highest performers, keeping those, and you're going to see that they're sort of playing it safe. What they're going to do is they're going to cut out all non-essential things, all things that they don't see as adding value. And then what they're going to do is they're going to play it safe for a little while. This is the leveling period. They're going to try to get a leveling bar of where they can expect their sales to be while playing it safe. If that maintains some success, then they're going to start trying to introduce new things, probably pretty slowly, and see how each one adds so that none actually hurt the bottom line. The goal right now is to stop the sinking, level it off, and then build from there. And it says here, with the news came with the release of DC Comics March 2021 solicitations, which follows the Future State event in January, February, where they learned that Aquaman has been canceled indefinitely. And Aquaman, you know, we might not think of as a big thing, but Aquaman's a staple character of DC. He's been for a long time. He might not be the big seller, but he is more of a constant. So when you're starting to eliminate constants, and you're focusing on just your bigger sellers, that means you're more trend following, which is usually a bad sign. It means your constants are no longer remaining constant. Marvel's seen that back when they were going bankrupt themselves and really struggling. They've seen that with their constant characters as well, like Iron Man, Captain America. They weren't at the time huge sellers. Captain America wasn't really a big seller since his inception, which was huge in his inception for a lot of years, though he dwindled as individual sales. So those characters were more successful in books like Avengers, where there was a compilation of all of them together, but they still had decent enough sales. Well, the problem is those sales declined, and that was starting to show a weakness in the brand, and we're starting to see that very same trend here with DC Comics. Now, some of this is due to inferior product. You know, I will say, though, I've been enjoying a lot of DC product lately, a lot more than quality in DC than I've seen in Marvel in a long time, which, from a Marvel fanboy, that hurts pretty hard. But it's gotten me to read a lot more DC. And I'm not saying DC has been perfect either. So these layoffs continue and continue and continue. It says, recently saw it suggest that AT&T may sell off DC Comics and license out these characters, which was a prediction by Ethan Van Sciver, which worked for DC. You know, that is definitely a possibility. AT&T is in it for money. If it's not making money, you're going to find a way to either make it money or you get rid of it. And one of the easiest ways to make money and reduce your risk is what we're seeing right now with this retrenchment, is reducing of risk. And one of the easiest ways is to license characters out. You get paid no matter what. If the book sells, it doesn't hurt you. If the book doesn't sell, it doesn't hurt you. If anything, it's a win-win. Because what this does is they're going to get paid. DC gets paid no matter what because of the licensing agreement. If the character continues to surge and grow when the licensing agreement is up, they can take the character back and benefit from that success as well. If the book does not, it doesn't matter because they still got paid. So what they're doing is they're sticking, if you look at the titles that they've released too, you're going to see that the vast majority of them are playing it safe. They're sticking to the Batman universe. Once again, this is that retrenchment process. They're trying to find the norm right now. That's what they're doing. Look, Infinite Frontier, Batman Urban Legends. There's a Batman book. Joker, Batman book. Harley Quinn, Batman tied-in book. Crime Syndicate, I'm not sure. Suicide Squad, I'm not sure. Superman Red and Blue, Swamp Thing, Teen Titans Academy. Teen Titans usually has Robin in it, or a Robin, so it's slightly a Batman book. Superman Action Comics, Batman, there's a Batman book. Batman in Detective Comics, of course, is a Batman book. Batman Superman, Batman book. Catwoman, Batman book. The Flash has been a pretty consistent seller. Justice League usually has Batman. Nightwing's a Batman tie-in book. Wonder Woman, Sensational Wonder Woman. Once again, these are because of movies, so they're hoping the movie popularity will get them going. American Vampire, Batman Black and White, Batman Catwoman, Batman White Knight, Batman Raw. See what I'm saying here? The trend, playing it safe. Man-Bat. Lots and lots of things that are playing it safe with very few other characters really in the line. This, once again, is a stabilization process. They're hoping to retrench, get rid of non-essential employees, get it down to bare minimum to operate effectively and efficiently for where their profit margins need to be, while limiting it to the books that they are pretty positive will sell. If that can level off the hemorrhaging, get it successful, and even build a little bit, they'll start slowly introducing other characters and testing them out. That's the normal way of going. Now, how did we get here? Well, sometimes it's inferior product, and some of it is. Sometimes you read the book and the book pisses you off because you're getting sick of the book constantly telling you what to believe, how to feel. That does have an impact. I witnessed that myself. You know, I can take a few books here and there where they're calling me an idiot or an a-hole or whatever meanness thing they say because I feel, you know, the writer just doesn't understand. But when you look at 9 out of 10 books have that, you're going to get sick of it. You're only going to take those beatings so long. I've said that years ago, and I'm going to continue to say that. The comic book fan is elastic in a way. They have so much they're going to be willing to take, as well as any customer, and at one point that snaps, and once that snaps, they're going to look elsewhere. They're going to look to other brands, or they're going to leave entirely. Enough is enough. I must not be the market anymore. DC, Marvel, any comic book producer cannot afford to have that happen. Comic book sales are not big enough. So it does not help when now we have a new element over, I shouldn't say new, it's been quite a long time now. But to comic book industry, it still seems like it's new to them because they don't know how to behave. We have this attitude of they can say whatever they want in public, and they don't realize what we say in public has a reflection, which is funny of how obtuse they are, how single-line and tunnel vision they have on this subject, because if you look at how they rant about politics, right, about anything, well, so they know views matter, but yet they act like their views don't matter, and they should be able to say whatever they want, but somebody else says something they don't like, they want them canceled. There's that darn cancel culture causing a problem again. So anyway, one of their biggest things these independent contractors loved to use was the, well, if you don't like it, don't buy it. I'm an independent contractor. What I say doesn't represent the company. I have a news flash for you. Anybody who knows how business works knows that it's complete crock of crap. Companies can give independent contractors a code of conduct. They can give them things to behave off of. Matter of fact, many do. Here's how you get your independent contractors to sign off on your conduct policies. Create a separate document that contains only the policies that protect your company. So what that means is you put policies in there to protect your company, like, if it's going to impact my sales negatively, yeah, I need to put something in there about that. Include a clause in your independent contractor agreement, something like this, Staff Policies Manual. The contractor has received from the company a copy of the current version of Staff Policies Manual, as well as the date in there. The contractor has read and understands the policies of the manual. In other words, they have to sign off that they understand what the policies are. They may from time to time be altered. Companies put that in there, things deleted all the time, just to sort of cover themselves. The manual shall continue to govern the contractor as long as the contractor is engaged by the company's wholly owned, controlled subsidiary companies, corporations, limited partnerships, and other organized and affiliated entities in the event of a change in the company ownership. In other words, you abide by the company's policies as long as you work with any facet of the company. The contractor does not understand any of the information included in the manual. They can discuss the questions they have, and then you put with whoever you want that to be. It understands that failure to adhere to the staff policies may result in disciplinary measures up to and including immediate termination of the engagement with the company, and more things like that. Yes, companies can and often do those things because they realize that an independent contractor impacts the company. You know, it's funny how people don't think about that. When you buy a vehicle, okay, most of those parts are outsourced. Okay, they're coming in from other places and they're assembled. So if they say they're manufactured in USA, most of the time nowadays they actually mean they're assembled in the USA. So, and let's say your alternator stops working and you're on your third alternator, it's a piece of crap alternator, it's a lemon. What do they blame? They blame the manufacturer? No, they blame the assembly. So for example, if it's a Ford truck and you've went through 3 alternators, this piece of crap Ford truck is what you say. You don't say, well, XYZ manufacturer of this is a piece of garbage. No, people in general blame the big name manufacturer, what it's tied to. Contract employees are tied to the company. People, they represent the company. People acknowledge them as part of the company. It's just the way the optics are in business. And it didn't matter as much before social media was so big and so prevalent and so common for everybody, because people, they didn't get to see that as much. They usually seen people in their best light. They see them at a convention where they're behaving well because they're trying to sell a product and they're all happy. They're meeting their fans and things like that. It's just, and also too, people act different face to face. Let's be honest. And I love it how they also use that excuse. These comic book writers and artists and things like that. Well, you wouldn't act like that, you know, if it wasn't, just online and things like that. Well, you wouldn't act like that either in public, sitting there face to face, telling them if they don't like it, don't buy it, or drown in clown piss, or whatever derogatory term you're using. It goes both ways, but they tend to miss that. They tend to neglect that part, that it works both ways. I, for myself, have seen a lot of crap people at comic conventions acting perfectly fine and nice. I shouldn't call them crap people. I'm just saying that they use the same distance, disconnect, virtual environment to cause the same disruptions and problems. These companies need to get these people in order. They need to start marketing better. Everybody they hire should have to sign some kind of agreement in order to boost the marketing for these products. Because if they don't, DC is only going to be one of the two, at least, that we see this happening to. This is going all over. The comic book industry is not in good shape. They love to brag and say they are, and once again, that's marketing optics. You don't see a company say, hey, we were the number one. I mean, you do. You see them say, we were the number one, but you never say, hey, we were the number 6 movie this month, or we were we are number 3. No. We are the leading and blah, 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 blah. You lose the benefits. You put the spin on it in a positive way. And they're using things like manga and its growth to say, hey, look, comics are doing great. But they're getting smashed. DC and Marvel getting smashed by manga. I've been trying to learn more about manga and things like that. A good channel I used to follow that is Yellow Flash. Yellow Flash seems to have a lot of good information on that. It keeps me updated in that, and I think it's pretty amazing. But anyway, that's my thoughts. I think DC Comics is in a retrenchment process. They have potential to get out of it, but they have to get things in control. Right now, they're eliminating things that don't sell. They have to level off the sales and work on growth. And their big focus, in my opinion, they need to is get their employees under control and start marketing the product better. All right, well, that's not your thoughts. Those are mine. I'd like to know your thoughts below, besides something like stick your head in doo-doo, you a-hole, and things like that. Please be civil and share how I'm wrong, or if you think I'm right. All right, thanks for your time, and until next time, keep it frugal.